Thank you. Calling next witness.
The state calls Officer Matthew Hubbard.
Hubbard, has a witness stand. Good morning, Your Honor. You will remain standing when you get there and raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Be seated. Mr. Johnson, your alarm is ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Investigator Matt Hubbard. I'm with the City of Northern Virginia Police Department.
All right, sir. And where is this, we know that it's in Virginia. Whereabouts in Virginia is Norton located?
Southwest Virginia, we're right on the Kentucky and Tennessee line.
All right, sir. What are your duties with the Norton Police Department?
Currently, I'm assigned to investigations. I'm evidence custodian, work all serious crimes.
Okay. What were your duties back in, well, let me first ask you, were you working for the Norton Police Department back in August of 2015?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you worked for Norton PD?
5 years.
What were your duties with the Norton Police Department back in August of 2015?
I was a patrol officer.
Were you working that particular, were you working specifically on August the 27th of 2015?
Yes, sir.
And what shift, what time frame were you working that day?
I was on night shift, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
6 p.m. to 6 a.m.?
Yes.
During your shift that night, did you come into contact with an individual that became known to you as James Colley?
Yes.
Can you, what initiated your contact with him that evening?
We received a dispatch of a be on the lookout for a vehicle harassing another vehicle on US 23 North Main.
Okay. And did the dispatch of the BOLO that you received, did it describe the vehicle that you were looking for?
Yes.
And what was the description of the vehicle?
A maroon or dark colored Infiniti car with Florida registration.
Do you recall around about what time you received that BOLO from your dispatch unit?
It was approximately 9:48
p.m.?
Yes, sir.
Did you respond to the BOLO?
I did.
And were you able to locate the burgundy vehicle?
I was.
Approximately how long did it take you to do that?
In a matter of 5 to 10 minutes.
All right. And whereabouts was the location that you were asked to respond to?
It was US 23 is a 4-lane highway. It's got a divided barrier in between it, and they were on that 4-lane.
Okay. So were there other officers that were also dispatched, or other officers that responded to the dispatch?
Yes.
And what other officers were responded?
Sergeant James McReynolds and Officer Tanner Bauer.
Now, do you recall the order that each of you arrived at the location there?
I was the first. They had went further southbound. I got on at the first exit into Norton, which is the high school exit, as we refer to it as. And I was the first in line to get behind the vehicle.
Okay, and you were behind which vehicle?
Mr. Colley.
All right. Was the other vehicle, the complainant vehicle, also located there as well?
Correct.
All right. So, so you were the first to approach. You said you were behind the burgundy vehicle. Where were the other two officers? Where were they located in reference to the suspect vehicle and the complaining vehicle?
Sergeant Reynolds was behind the complaining vehicle. Officer Powers was a little ways behind me, but I don't know exactly where he was at.
Okay. And the suspect vehicle versus the complaining vehicle, where were they in relation to each other?
Side by side.
All right. And what did you see when you arrived at the location?
I observed both vehicles to be traveling well below the speed limit, keeping pace, speed up just a little bit, then slow back down.
Okay. Did you consider that unusual?
Yes.
Okay. What happened after you got to the location and observed this behavior?
We followed until we got to the next exit and conducted a traffic stop at that point.
Okay. And you do that were you driving a marked patrol car?
Yes.
And you did that with lights and
Yes.
pulled the vehicle over? And did the vehicle actually pull over?
It did.
So what happened after you pulled the burgundy vehicle over?
Sergeant McReynolds approached the vehicle first and advised advised the male to stick his hand out the window. He did that. He then had him exit the vehicle.
Okay. Now, Officer Hubbard, during the course of your contact with this vehicle there at the scene of the stop, did there come a point in time where you took photographs of the vehicle and various things in that location?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
With no objection from the defense, Your Honor, I'm going to go ahead and offer into evidence what's been marked for identification purposes as states QQ1, which is a disc, and QQ2, which is a printout from that.
Is that correct? No objection?
Yes, sir.
Without objection, I would receive the state's exhibit 47 deposit.
And published exhibit, Your Honor.
You may.
All right, now, Officer Hubbard, I'm going to show you what's on our screen is photograph A of this particular exhibit. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
Looking at the suspect vehicle that we conducted a traffic stop on.
Okay, and is this the location where the vehicle stopped?
Correct.
So after you indicated that the vehicle was pulled over, and then one of the other officers instructed the driver to exit the vehicle, is that correct? Was there anybody else located in the vehicle?
No.
After you conducted the stop and instructed the driver to exit the vehicle, were efforts made to identify the driver of the vehicle?
Yes.
And were you able to do that?
Yes, it was.
And how were you able to do that?
Driver's license as well as a teletype that Sergeant McDonald's received.
Okay. And with the driver's license, what was the name of the driver of the burgundy vehicle?
James Colley.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point to him and describe the article of clothing he's wearing?
Yes. Black license, gray.
May the record reflect the witness as identified the defendant?
So noted for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, when after the defendant had exited the vehicle, you were able to identify him. Did any of the other officers that were on the scene approach the vehicle to inspect it from the outside?
Yes, Officer Powers and Sergeant McDonald.
Okay, and were you made aware of any items that were located in the vehicle that caused some concern for officer safety?
Yes.
And what items were those?
Officer Powers advised me there were 2 firearms in the passenger side of the vehicle.
I'm going to just kind of go through some of these photographs here. I'm going to photograph B. This is just simply the back portion of the same vehicle, is that correct?
Yes.
And this is the actual tag number of the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Now, at some point in time during this stop, did you have an opportunity to go and see the firearms that Officer Powers had referenced? Did you have an opportunity to go and see the same firearms?
Yes.
And where were they located?
Passenger seat.
What part of the back passenger, front passenger?
Front passenger.
And what type of firearms were located in the front passenger seat?
One appeared to be an AR-15 style rifle, other was a handgun.
I'll go to photograph C here. Can you tell us, and if you could step down, Officer Hubbard, there's a pointer right there in front of you. You can extend that out, and you can kind of tell us, some of it's kind of obvious, but can you point out the AR-15 there?
Yes, sir.
And the handgun, where is it located? Right there?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to photograph D here, so there's a little bit better photograph, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
AR-15, and that firearm.
Yes, sir.
Now, after Officer Powers made you aware of these items located in the front passenger seat, what did you do?
I immediately placed him in handcuffs. for us success.
Did you do anything other than placement handcuffs?
I did a weapons pat down.
And did you find any other weapons on the defendant? Now, at some point in time, did you receive any information concerning the defendant, other agencies who may be interested in his whereabouts in the vehicle itself?
Yes, our dispatch ran the tag, I guess as I was stopping it, and advised Sergeant Brown with information once they got the hit back on.
Okay. From St. Johns County?
Yes.
Okay. And did, while you're on scene there, was contact made with St. Johns County in reference to that teletype, as you put it, and their interest in the defendant?
Yes.
And did they indicate that they would be en route to Virginia following receipt of that information?
Correct.
So after you had received the information from dispatch concerning St. Johns County's interest in the defendant, was he placed under arrest?
He was.
And did anyone conduct a search incident to arrest?
Yes.
And who did that?
Officer Powers conducted the search while I observed him and watched the suspect.
Okay. And you were there as Officer Powers conducted that search?
Yes.
And were able to see the items that were found on the defendant? May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Again, Your Honor, appears no objection from the defendant, so I'd offer states, I believe, SS and RR as evidence.
Correct, no objection?
That's true, Your Honor.
All right, without objection, S states SS will be receiving the evidence, it states 48. States RR will be receiving the evidence, it states 49.
Showing you, sir, what's been entered into evidence, it states 49. And can you tell us, sir, and then also states 48. Can you tell us, sir, what was found on the defendant's person? First, let me ask you this. What areas of his person did you search?
Anything we could search, pockets, neck, on the shirt area, anything.
Okay, and when you searched his pockets, his pants pockets, did you find the items?
We did.
And what did you find?
We found the wallet, large wallet of cash, 2 45 caliber bullets, a few receipts, and some pieces of broken glass.
Okay. And Exhibit 49, what are those?
Those are 2 45 caliber bullets.
Are those the 2 bullets that you and Officer Powers found on the defendant's in his pockets? Yes, sir? Okay. And also, you had indicated receipts and glass were found. Are those the items in Exhibit 48? Yes. Your Honor, at this time, may I publish these to the jury?
You may.
Now, while you were on scene, Officer Hubbard, did anyone contact anyone else from your department to sort of let them know what was going on here at this roadside location?
Yes, I had dispatch contact Assistant Chief Baird, who was on-call supervisor as well as on-call investigator.
Okay. Is that Assistant Chief Joe Bear?
Yes,
Okay. And what was the reason for contacting him?
we were requested to seal off the vehicle and impound it so that it could be processed at a later time.
Okay. And is that something that as the sort of the supervising investigator that he would do?
Correct.
And did he respond to your location?
He did.
And what did he do when he got there?
He sealed the vehicle off. Evidence.
Okay. And was the vehicle towed anywhere?
Yes.
And where was it towed to?
To the city of Norton's impound garage.
And that was to be processed at a later date?
Correct.
And was eventually the defendant transported to a local jail there?
Correct.
One more, Chairman? No further questions?
Cross-examination.
Don't have anything at this time, Your Honor.
Is Officer Hubbard excused?
Yes.
Officer Hubbard, you are excused. Thank you. Take on your next witness.
State calls Captain Timothy Wagner.
Captain Wagner, you'll take the witness stand right over here. If you'll remain standing when you get there, please. If you'll raise your right hand.
You solemnly swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am. You can take a seat. Mr. Johnson, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you introduce yourself to our jury?
Yes, I'm Captain Tim Wagner, work for the Wise County, Virginia Sheriff's Office.
All right. Now, Captain Wagner, we just heard from Officer Matthew Hubbard of the Norton County Police Department. Where is Wise County, Virginia, in reference to Norton's, the city of Norton?
Norton is actually a city within our county, so it's basically Norton's right in the center of Wise County, located inside.
And you work for a different agency. You work for the Wise County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir.
And how long have you worked in law enforcement, sir?
It's on my 21st year.
Now, what are your duties with the Wise County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I am supervisor over the investigators.
And what were your duties with the Wise County Sheriff's Office in August of 2015?
I was a lieutenant in investigations then, did most of the major crime cases and most of the forensic stuff.
Were you working in that capacity specifically on August the 27th, 28th of 2015?
Yes.
On the 28th, were you asked to assist in an investigation that originated out of St. Augustine, Florida?
Yes, I was.
And how did your involvement in that investigation come about?
That morning, I received a call from my captain, Russell Cyphers, and he advised me to come up to the office and assist in writing a search warrant to assist Florida in that case.
Okay. And what did you do after you were given those instructions by your captain?
I spoke to one of the Norton police officers that had made the vehicle stop that night before, and also spoke to one of the Florida investigators, got enough information, enough probable cause to secure a search warrant for Mr. Colley.
And what specifically was the search warrant for?
For DNA, fingerprints, hairs, fibers within on the person of James Colley. He had some visible blood on his face and some scratches and some stains under his fingernails.
Did you were you able to obtain the search warrant for those items?
Yes, I was.
And did you take those items as indicated within your search warrant?
Yes, I did.
And you said that one of those included a DNA sample from James Colley, so,
Yes, yes, sir.
and so can you just kind of, how did you take this DNA sample from the defendant in this case?
Basically, it's a cotton swab, and we swab both sides of his cheeks, and at that point, we just put it in a small box and then inside a evidence envelope and seal it.
Yeah, approach with it, Sean.
You may.
Captain Wagner, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes, State's Exhibit Double T. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And what do you recognize it to be?
That would be the swab that I took of Mr. Colley.
Other than perhaps having been removed for DNA analysis, this appeared to be in the same or substantially same condition as when you packaged his DNA sample.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this time it offers State's TT into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Objection has been received. The State's Exhibit 50.
And Captain Wagner, after you took the DNA sample from the defendant, what did you do with it?
I sealed it up, initialed the evidence seal, and I placed it in the evidence locker.
A moment, Your Honor.
Sure. Nothing further. Cross-examination.
No, Your Honor.
Is Captain Wagner excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Have a good night. State, call your next witness.
The state calls Special Agent Marcus McClanahan.
Remain standing when you get there, please. You raise your right hand. Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Take a seat. Mr. Johnson, you may inquire when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
Marcus Allen Klein.
And how are you employed, sir?
I'm a senior special agent with the Virginia State Police.
And how long have you been employed with the Virginia State Police?
Almost 26 years.
And what are your duties there as a special agent?
General investigation, any type of criminal case, and my specialty is a forensic crime scene technician.
Okay, so part of your job duties are to process items, scenes, collect evidence, and things of that nature. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And have you ever undergone any training to do that?
Yes, I've been through a 9-week forensic tech school. Also training with a senior agent once I was promoted to agent of the crime scene techs.
Were you working in your capacity as a crime scene technician in August of 2015?
Yes.
And specifically on August the 28th of 2015?
Yes, sir.
Did there come a time when you became involved in an investigation which originated out of St. Augustine, Florida, involving an individual by the name of James Colley?
Yes, sir.
How did you become involved in that investigation?
I was contacted by Captain Russ Cyphers with Wise County Sheriff's Office. He contacted me that morning and asked me to respond to their jurisdiction to process a vehicle for them.
Do you recall approximately what time he contacted you?
He contacted me at 08:55 hours.
Okay. And where was the vehicle that you were asked to process? Where was it located?
It was located at the Norton Police Department impound lot. And the address was 815 Park Avenue, Southwest, Norton, Virginia, which was in the county of Wise.
What time did you arrive at the impound lot area?
Arrived on scene at 11:30 hours.
Okay, and approximately what time did you begin processing the vehicle?
Began processing it at 14:10 hours, which is 2:10 p.m.
Okay, and what was the reason for the delay in processing the vehicle?
Captain Cyphers was in the process of obtaining a search warrant for that vehicle for me to process it.
Okay, so you had to wait until the search warrant had been issued, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And eventually the search warrant was issued, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And can you kind of tell us, how do you go about processing a vehicle, and how did you go about processing this particular vehicle?
Well, all crime scenes begin, to work the crime scenes from the outside in, so it would be the outside of the vehicle, processing it, bringing evidence, began photographing it from all four corners, front to back to sides, visually looking at the vehicle, identifying items or evidence to collect, and just begin to process that.
Okay. And the photographs you take, you initially take those as in this case, the car, as you found the car and as you found the evidence located on or within the car, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And did you take photographs such as that in this particular case?
I did.
If there's any objection, Your Honor, so I'd offer State's Exhibit UU1, which is a disc of photos, and UU2, which is a printout of the disc, into evidence at this time.
Is that correct? No objection?
That's correct.
Without objection, we received as State's Composite Exhibit 51.
May I publish the exhibit, Your Honor?
You may.
All right, Agent McClanahan, I want to take you to photo A here. Can you just describe for the members of the jury what we're looking at in this photograph here, sir?
That is just a placard with the information on the case. Just took a picture of that. It had the identifying location where I was at, me as a photographer, and our agency name.
Okay. Helps you kind of keep track of what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll go to photo B here. There are two photographs here. Can you tell us what we're looking at in this picture?
That is the storage lot where the vehicle was found, the garage bay, and then it's a close-up shot in the upper left corner that location was locked and sealed, and that's how I found it when I responded down there to the scene.
And going to photo C, what are we looking at here?
Captain Cyphers had unlocked the lock, raised the door, and then that was the vehicle there that I processed.
Photo D.
Again, that same vehicle, the driver's side, the rear tag, and the passenger side of the vehicle.
Photo E here, what are we looking at here?
Both driver, passenger side door, you can see that as I found it, there was red evidence tape that had sealed that door and had been initialed over indicating that that vehicle was secured and hadn't been entered since they locked it in.
The seal hadn't been broken.
Had not been broken. It's across the trunk, the doors, and all entries to that vehicle, it was taped off.
Okay. As you began to process the vehicle, did you break the seal in order to identify and process and collect evidence within the interior of the vehicle?
I did.
I want to take you to photograph F. Can you kind of give us some orientation as to what part of the car we're looking at here?
This would be the driver's side seat, and this would be the bottom there would be the door jamb with the door open. So it's between the seat and the door on the driver's side.
Okay. And was there any particular evidence that you located in this area of the vehicle?
There was, in the middle of that, on the carpet there was a small piece of glass, like tempered glass.
Okay. I'm going to photograph G here.
That is a close-up of that piece of glass with a scale that I placed there for size.
Okay. And was that piece of glass collected as evidence in this case?
It was.
I'll go to photograph H here. Again, that's probably a little bit obvious, but just for the record, can you tell us the orientation, what part of the vehicle we're looking at here?
That would be the passenger side front seat and compartment area.
Okay. And we see a number of items there in the front passenger seat. Can you identify those?
Yes, some ammunition, a Smith & Wesson rifle, and then a semi-automatic pistol.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Was the handgun there, what, 45 you said, was it collected as evidence?
It was collected.
Agent Flanagan, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit WW, so two Ws. Can you take a look at that and tell me if you recognize it?
I do.
And what do you recognize it to be?
This is the firearm box that I had, when I collected the firearm, had sealed it in a box that has my handwriting on it. This is the ammunition that was recovered from the firearm. And that's the firearm in the magazine, which was in the magazine well.
Okay. Agent McClanahan, when you found the gun and took it into evidence, you identified a number of what I guess lay people would refer to as the bullets, unfired bullets. How was the gun? Were these bullets located within the gun?
They were, the single bullet here was actually in the chamber in the barrel, and then these were inside the magazine. The magazine was seated inside the well, the magazine well of the firearm.
Okay. You had one in the chamber. How many did you have in the magazine?
They were a total of 9 rounds, one in the magazine, so it would have been eight rounds in the magazine and one in the chamber.
And how many rounds would this gun hold, including the magazine?
The magazine would hold 8, and of course, one in the chamber, so the magazine was fully loaded.
Okay. And the bullets, the bullet that was found in the chamber of the gun, what type of bullet was it?
It's a Hornady, Hornady brand. It's 45 auto.
And did it have a tip, a particular type of tip?
It did. It had like a neon green plastic Teflon type tip.
Okay. And the other bullets that were located in the magazine of the gun, what type of bullets were in the magazine?
There was one other Hornady brand with that same plastic tip, and the others were Federal brand 45 auto.
May I publish this, Your Honor?
It's not introduced yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will offer it into evidence of state
No,
two Ws.
It will be received in evidence of states 52. You may publish.
Thank you, Your Honor. Approach again, Your Honor.
You may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as states DV, 2 Ds. Do you recognize that?
I do. That's the glass that I testified to earlier.
Okay. And does it appear to be in the same or substantial same condition as when you collected it?
It does.
Your Honor, this time I offer VV into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
That will be received in states 53.
Moving on to photo I, that's just simply a close-up of that 45 caliber handgun you found, is that correct?
That is correct.
And were you able to determine the serial number from that gun?
I was able to, yes.
I'm going to go to photograph J. Does this photograph contain the serial number on the side of the gun?
It does.
Yes, sir. Could you read that into the record, please?
It's H as in Henry, A as in Adam, B as in boy, 0718.
Going to photo L here, what are we looking at here?
That is the right picture on the right would be what we refer to as the head stamp. It has the Hornady brand 45 auto, and then the picture on the left would be the projectile showing the green Teflon or plastic tip.
This was the bullet that was found in the chamber of the 45.
That's correct.
And going to photograph M, you see here just another picture of the AR-15, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did the AR-15, did it have bullets in the AR-15?
It did.
And how many?
There were 29 rounds in the magazine of that.
And did you seize that as evidence, sir?
I did.
I'm going to go to photograph O. What are we looking at here in this photograph?
That is again the right front passenger seat. You can see the pistol had already been collected, and just the next series of photos showing the 45 auto ammunition loose in the seat. The picture in the top left would be the box of 45 auto federal brand, and the photograph far right would be the PMC brand 223 ammunition, and that would be ammunition for the rifle.
The 45 caliber rounds that we see there, were the majority of those sort of loose on the front passenger seat?
That's correct, they were.
Okay, on that bottom left-hand photograph there, we see what appears to be sort of a plastic, I guess, a holder for these bullets.
That's correct. It's an insert that would hold the bullets, and that would slide into the cardboard box in the upper left corner.
Okay. Did you collect the bullets, the plastic holder, as well as the cardboard box?
I did.
And what did you do with all those items as you collected them?
They were all the same brand, 45 auto, so I put them back into the tray that you see in the bottom left and slid it back in the box and collected all those as a whole and packaged them.
Yeah, first question. Showing you what's been marked for identification purposes, it states Exhibit X. Recognize that?
Yes, that would be the items that's in the picture.
And do they appear to be in the same or substantially same condition as when you collected them?
They did.
This time I'd offer to take Exhibit XX into evidence.
No objection.
Objection to be received, states Exhibit 54.
And publish objection. Agent McClanahan, after you collected these items, what did you do with them?
At the end of the process of that vehicle, they were released to Captain Russ Cyphers with Wise County Sheriff's Office.
As you were processing the vehicle, did you find any identification information within the vehicle?
I did.
And what did you find?
There was appeared to be a employment ID tag with the name Terry Colley on it.
Okay. Now, showing you photograph P, is this the photo badge that you were referring to?
It does, and it actually says James Colley, correct, so taken from the vehicle.
Cross-examination.
Nothing,
Was Special Agent Flanagan excused?
He's released, Your Honor.
You are excused. Thank you, sir. State your approaches for quick scheduling and we are ready to proceed. Mr. Johnson, call your next witness.
Take call Sergeant James Hubbard.
All right, Sergeant Hubbard, if you'll take a witness stand right here. Your next station when you get it. Stand and raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Sergeant, you can be seated. Mr.
Johnson, you can proceed. Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Eugene Colbert. I'm a sergeant with the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit.
And what do you do with the major crimes unit, sir?
We investigate more serious crimes, robberies, murders, kidnappings, things like that.
Okay. Were you working in that capacity within the major crimes unit on August the 27th of 2015?
I was a corporal at the time, but yes, I was in the Major Crimes Unit.
Okay, so what were part of your duties there within the major crimes unit at that particular time?
Supervising the unit, investigating cases.
Were you called to assist in investigation of a homicide that occurred at 260 South Bellagio Drive within St. Johns County that day?
Yes, I was.
Okay, can you tell us exactly, generally, what did you do that particular day after you were notified of the homicides?
I responded to the scene, got a briefing from the patrol units who were on scene as far as what had transpired, and determined that a search warrant needed to be obtained for the residence. So I started working on a search warrant.
And what residence did you write search warrants for?
260 South Bellagio, which was the incident location where the murders occurred, and then also 1189 Garrison Drive, which was the defendant's residence.
Did you do anything else while you were on scene, such as give any instructions to other investigators and things of that nature?
Yes, I tasked different detectives with different roles in the investigation, including a neighborhood canvas, collecting some video from nearby business, things of that nature.
Now, at some point in time, were you able to determine the mileage between the 1189 Garrison Drive address and the 260 South Bellagio Drive address?
Yes, sir.
And what's the mileage between those two residences?
There's two basic paths that you can take. One would be International Golf Parkway to 95 up to County Road 210 and into the Southampton subdivision where Garrison is located. And the other one would be 16 west to 16A up to 210. So either way, it's about 15 miles.
At some point in time, that particular day, did you learn that James Colley, the person of interest at that particular time, had been located and arrested?
Yes, I did.
All right. And approximately what time was it that you learned that information?
It's about 10 or 10:30 that night.
And where had he been arrested?
In a town called Norton, Virginia.
And do you know who he had been arrested by?
The Norton Police Department. There were several officers involved in the traffic stop.
What did you do after you had learned that he had been arrested in that jurisdiction?
I began making plans for myself and Detective English, another colleague of ours, to travel to Virginia.
And what was the purpose of doing that?
Well, time was of the essence at the moment. Wanted to make sure we secured any evidence that we could related to the investigation.
Before leaving St. Johns County to go to Norton, did you contact that agency to get a briefing of what was going on and to give any instructions?
Yes, we spoke about that.
And did you actually make your way to Norton, Virginia?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you and Detective English and the other officer leave?
We left around midnight.
All right. And the other officers that were with you, Detective English, and what was the name of the third officer who went with you?
His name is Russ Martin. He was a sergeant at the time.
Okay. What was the purpose of the three of you going?
Russ used to work for the Wise County Sheriff's Office in Virginia before he moved to Florida, and Norton PD is in the jurisdiction of Wise County, Virginia. So I felt like that he could offer some assistance as far as liaison, relationships, things like that, to get the ball rolling once we got up there.
And Detective English was the case agent, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Did y'all go straight there?
Yes, we did.
And approximately what time did you arrive in Virginia?
It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock the next morning.
And where did you go when you got there?
We met with the officers from the Norton Police Department at the facility where they had Mr. Colley's car stored inside the storage.
Okay. And what did you do after you got there?
We got a more detailed brief from those officers, and then we observed the vehicle. We're able to look through the windows, kind of see what some of the officers were able to see.
Okay. And were you present or in the vicinity when the Virginia State Police processed the vehicle and collected evidence from it?
I came and went several times during that process. VSP did the processing for us, and we left at one point and did some other tasks and came back.
Okay. And how long were you there in Northern Virginia?
Full day. We got there, like I said, around 8:30, 9 o'clock on Friday, and we didn't come home until Saturday morning.
Okay. When you, before you left, did you take possession or custody of items of evidence that had been either seized from the defendant's vehicle or from his person?
Yes, I did.
And what did you receive from those agencies?
I received clothing that had been collected from Mr. Colley's person at the time of his arrest. I received some receipts that were collected, some fragments of glass, some ammunition that were located in the vehicle, also 2 firearms that were located in the vehicle, DNA buccal swab, which is just a cheek swab of the inside of his cheek, just for a standard. Then there were photographs taken of Mr. Colley as well.
And did you return with those items to St. Johns County?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do with them after you returned with them?
I booked them into property at the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office evidence.
Have further questions? Any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
Was Sergeant Hubbard excused?
I'll remember keeping that again, y'all.
So let's go that way.
Thank you.
Or excused for now.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Folks, we're going to go take lunch a little earlier today. It is 11:30, so we're going to take our lunch break at this point. I'll have everybody back at 1 o'clock in the jury lounge. And again, let me caution you to please discuss the case among yourselves with anybody else. We're going to break into research and maybe tonight